It's time for the Get Covered Illinois pregame show, sponsored by Get Covered Illinois, the official health marketplace.
Thursday Night Football is back on CBS 2. The Bears welcome the Dallas Cowboys to Soldier Field. Jay Cutler was a spectator in the last meeting between these two legendary NFL franchises, but he'll be leading the Bears offense tonight, hoping to not add to his NFL worst 20 turnovers on the season. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Get Covered Illinois pregame show. I'm Ryan Baker, joined by former defensive end for the Bears, Alex Brown. Alex, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you since last Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. I'm good to be here.
Got on your Sunday best.
Yeah.
Well, last December, the Bears braved a sub-zero temperature outside to dominate the Dallas Cowboys 45-28 in a game which they never punted the ball. In this year's rematch, it's the 5-7 Bears who are out in the cold in terms of the playoff race, but they can ice the Cowboys' postseason plans tonight. Dallas comes in at 8-4, but they're in 7th behind the Detroit Lions in that NFC race for the wild card spot. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, coming off of that horrible loss, I'm pretty sure for the Cowboys last week with Philly, I'm pretty sure they're ready. They're ready to go. They want to get back on the winning track. So we're going to have our hands full today with the Bears. With the Cowboys.
And it's much more of a must-win game for Dallas. Because,
absolutely.
You know, we know the way they've collapsed in December in recent years.
Yes.
But Dallas has truly been America's team this season. With a 5-0 record on the road, they've lost 3 of their last 5 after getting out to a 6-1 start. The Bears have won their last 3 meetings with the Cowboys, though, including back-to-back victories in primetime. While they haven't been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, they've pretty much been relegated to a spoiler role.
I have no idea if we're eliminated or not. I don't know. I hadn't gotten into it, but, you know, if our goal now is going to be to run other people's dreams, then that's what we're going to do. We're not going to come out and lay down for anybody. We're going to come out and play ball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's hard to get to this point in the year and be 8-4 and right in the middle of the hunt. So I think you play long enough like I have, you respect the opportunity that you have and where you are positioned. So I am excited about that.
That's longtime Cowboys tight end Jason Witten. The boys boast the NFL's leading rusher in DeMarco Murray, over 1,400 yards, 8 straight 100-yard games, a lethal receiver in Dez Bryant, and the pride of Eastern Illinois University, Tony Romo, having one of his best seasons. How does the Bears defense stop these guys, especially with the way they've been struggling?
You look at the Bears, I mean, they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher yet. They did come close last week, but this guy, he comes in, I mean, DeMarco Murray, they're going to run the football. They have to stop the run, make Romo beat you. I think that is the key. That's the formula going into this game. So that's what I think they have to do.
Try to force some turnovers. Well, Megan Maunke is live at Soldier Field. We knew Robbie Gould was iffy at best for tonight's game due to a quadricep injury. Veteran kicker Jay Philly was brought in as insurance. Megan, what's the latest on Robbie Gould's status, and are there any other key inactives?
Yes, well, Robbie Gould is out for tonight's game, as we probably assumed. We saw Jay Feely warming up out there, but maybe a little bit of a surprise. Jeremiah Ratliff was out doing a lot of pregame work. You definitely thought he was going to try to give it a go tonight against his former team, but he is out as well. So those are the 2 key guys. One guy we do know who's out for the rest of the season is all-pro linebacker Lance Briggs. There is kind of a little silver lining to Lance Briggs' season-ending groin injury. It will now give the Bears a chance to really evaluate their young linebackers from here on out. That includes John Bostic, a second-round draft choice that is last year, as well as rookie Christian Jones. The Bears will get a chance to see if these guys are really good enough to build around in the future.
For me, you know, really it's just another chance to go out and compete. You know, numbers getting called upon again. It really doesn't matter where. Just being able to be out on the field, that's all I'm happy with.
Obviously, you don't want to see, like Lance, a guy like that go out, but obviously a bigger role, bigger opportunity for you.
Yeah, you know, Lance is an important guy for this team and for this defense. He's a general out there. He gets everybody lined up. He has a lot of knowledge of the game, and we're going to miss him.
Is there one piece of advice that he's really given you or something that really sticks with you?
Live in the moment. You know, whether it's through the good and bad, you know, these are moments you're going to remember.
How much did not being drafted, did that give you a little chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, it did. You know, not being drafted, everybody has their dreams of being drafted and being selected, but I always looked at it as, a blessing in disguise. I was able to pick the team that I wanted to be on. I knew I always had the ability, the size and all that, but, in this league it takes more than that, and I get to learn from guys like Lance and DJ, veteran guys who's been here, been in the system, knows what to do. So I think that's been helping me get prepared for where I'm at now. So I feel like I'm just blessed just to be in this opportunity.
Now I know why you got your nickname. Right? Look, huh? Yeah. The Big Cheese, right? Who gave that to you?
Coach Tuck gave that to me during rookie minicamp. Everybody saw I was always smiling, so he just started calling me Cheese, Big Cheese. So.
The Big Cheese, and linebackers coach Reggie Herring says you can chew out Christian Jones and he's still smiling. Well, they also say he's one of the hardest workers on the team, and it has certainly paid off. He has a 10th on the team with 43 tackles and just 2 starts. So we will see how he pans out these next couple of games. Lance Briggs' day is pretty much over here in Chicago, but hopefully, you know what, Lance Briggs, he will be remembered for his first 10 seasons here in Chicago and not necessarily the last 2, guys.
Megan, thanks so much. We'll check back with you in just a few minutes. Alex, you spent 7 seasons playing with Lance Briggs, arguably the best weak side linebacker in franchise history. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer? We know Brian Urlacher is going to have a bust in Canton. What do you think Lance Briggs shapes up when it's all said and done?
Well, when it's all said and done, we start talking about the Hall of Fame. I think it has to do with your resume, and when you can put those Pro Bowls on there, and you look at Lance with 6 or 7 different Pro Bowl years, and then you got a couple All-Pro years where you're the best linebacker in the league. I think he has a really good chance, maybe not first ballot like Urlacher, but I think he has a really good chance to get in. I think he should be in. I think he's the best will side linebacker to ever play right behind Derrick Brooks.
Players rarely, if ever, get to leave this game on their own terms. How difficult is it for you as a former teammate to see Lance limp off with these injuries, the groin this year, had the shoulder last year?
You know what? That's always tough. That's always tough because guys always feel like they can continue to play. And then you start to feel your body deteriorate a little bit. You start to see, well, I don't have that half a step that I used to have. And then you have to come to the realization that, you know what, it might be over. And then if you try to fight through that, which we've been taught all our life is to fight through, then you start to see, and it starts to show up on film, that you're a step behind, that you just don't have it anymore. So it's hard to let go, but when the guys do let go and they realize, like, you know what, that 24-year-old, them young legs are a little better than mine now.
Well, 55 has been a great number for Bears linebackers, and Lance Briggs has not let down that legacy. We've got to huddle up, but there's plenty more to come after a quick timeout. Can the Bears find a balancing act on offense to keep from falling apart again? We'll discuss that and more as our Get Covered Illinois pregame show rolls on.
It can be hard to find true holiday spirit. But when you've got something to take you beyond the usual sights, you'll discover the meaning of the season in a place you never expected. The only vehicle that can take you there is at the Jeep Big Finish event. Right now, get $500 Big Finish bonus cash for a total of $1,500 cash allowance on select 2015 Cherokee models.
If we're going to remain competitive, we must have a community college system that works. Mary Emanuel and I launched the College to Careers so that when students came to us, not only were they able to get jobs right away, but they were also able to transfer their credits. We've doubled the graduation rate. We've had the largest completion rate in City College's history. He is very relentless. He is very forceful, but I think it's exactly what we need.
Stay comfortable and save energy with storm windows from Larson and Menards. Right now, all Larson storm windows are on sale. They feature low-E glass and white frames and cut energy loss up to 60%. Choose from 11 stock sizes starting at $49.99 for a 24 by 39-inch window. Keep your home secure with a quick set lock set. This Tustin programmable keypad entry lever installs in minutes and features one-touch locking. Available in a satin nickel finish, just $99.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm the first to admit I'm not the best student. I got into my backup college, but on the acceptance letter it did say, please be aware you barely squeaked in. That's why our new thermostat is the last thing I need. It's called the Nest Learning Thermostat. Learns the temperatures you like and programs itself to help save you money. Now my parents keep saying, why can't you be more like the thermostat? Not a confidence booster.
The Nest Learning Thermostat. Welcome to a more thoughtful home.
Welcome back to our Get Covered Illinois Bears pregame show. That's Roberto Garza and his offensive line mates getting warmed up for tonight's matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, but they don't have to do nearly as much warming up as they did a year ago when it was -9 with the wind chill.
Man, I remember those days.
This is ball, man. We're in the 30s tonight. Well, we are counting down the kickoff between the Cowboys and Bears coming up at 7:25 here on CBS2. The clock is ticking on the Bears season after their running game disappeared in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. They mustered just 13 rushing yards on 8 carries in the 34-17 loss. Jay Cutler threw it around 48 times, although it was a lot of dink and dunk passes. A couple touchdowns to Alshon Jeffrey. Somehow Matt Forte was limited to just 6 yards on the ground on only 5 carries. Forte did have 52 receiving yards. The Cowboys' forgiving defense is pretty generous against the run, so I gotta believe that we'll see some better offensive balance from the Bears tonight.
Yeah, it's of the utmost importance, you know, especially times, you know, especially if we're playing outside too, you know, with the weather and stuff, because you know, you can't just sit back there and throw 50 passes a game and expect to win.
You want to throw the ball, and you want to, you want to throw touchdowns, you want to throw big yards, but you also want to win football games. And I think anyone that's been doing this for a while realizes that you got to have best of both worlds. You want to have some balance, even if numbers wise, it's not as balanced as you want to be. If you're running the ball efficiently and given the illusion that you're going to run the ball, it definitely helps.
Alex, we saw a shot of the Bears offensive line coming out of the break. It's been a patchwork in progress all season long with various injuries after staying healthy all of last year. Is it a lack of confidence in the O-line in terms of the stalled running game or not running the ball at all last week in Detroit? Or is it curious coaching by Mark Trestman and Aaron Kromer, the offensive coordinator?
I think it's almost just thinking too much and trying to do too much with the offense, trying to take away. I mean, when you come into a football game, well, the defense is trying to make you one-dimensional. If you come in and you make yourself one-dimensional,
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, we came out, I think, with the mentality to throw short passes as the running game, and I think that's the wrong move to make. When you got the best, in my opinion, the best all-around running back in the game today. You got him in the backfield. You only run him 6 times in the game. He gains 5 yards. I mean, come on, we got to do better than that, and you got to keep guys honest. You got to keep that defense honest, and last week we did not see that.
Well, let's check back in with Megan at Soldier Field. It won't be quite the lovey fest it was when the Bucs were here a few weeks ago, but the Bears are going to see a few familiar faces on the other side with the Cowboys. Megan?
No, for sure they will. And one familiar face they do need to keep an eye on tonight is Henry Melton. The defensive tackle spent the first 5 years of his career here with the Bears. He actually made the Pro Bowl with them in 2012, and they deemed him so valuable they slapped the franchise tag on him. But then, unfortunately, he tore his ACL, and the Bears did not try to keep him as a free agent in the offseason, so Melton ended up in Big D. And Melton, of course, comes to Chicago as the Cowboys' sack leader. He leads the team with 5 takedowns, despite starting only 3 games this season. He's played in all 12 games, mostly as a reserve in their rotation. Now, Melton is from the Dallas area, so it's been a good signing for all involved. And he admitted when he inked that 1-year deal with the Cowboys, he noticed right away who their Week 14 opponent was, but he downplayed his return to Soldier Field a bit.
You know, it feels good. Just getting a win, you know, it's going to feel good. So if we get a win versus, you know, my old team, it's even better.
Harry's playing well. He's, you know, he's difficult to handle. He's very shifty in there, very quick.
And Melton's return isn't the only reunion. Dallas's defensive coordinator, Rod Marinelli, if you remember, was with the Bears from 2009 to 2012. And there are actually 5 Bears with Cowboys ties, including Martellus Bennett, Dante Rosario, and Jeremiah Ratliff. But we mentioned he is inactive tonight. So, you know what? Not a whole lot for the Bears to play for tonight. Jobs and pride. But there might be some intensity between these two teams. And you know what? Some storylines as well. We'll see how it all plays out. Ryan and Alex.
All right, thanks a lot, Megan. And Alex, you spent 1 season playing under Rod Marinelli as your defensive line coach. What do you expect from him tonight to pull out some tricks out of his sleeves to go up against an offense he knows very well?
Oh, I tell you what, with Marinelli, everything's been said all week. He's been getting those boys ready to go all week for this moment right here. And I tell you that Henry Melton coming in here, I remember when I left here and went to the Saints, I wanted to play the Bears. And there's an extra gear that he'll have. We got to watch him early because he's a streaky guy. If he's going early, watch out, because he could really be a disruption the rest of the game.
All right, Alex, still more to come here on our Get Covered Illinois pregame show. Shea McClellin getting ready to go at it, trying to get his hands working. He's going to be in some hand-to-hand combat against the Cowboys. Coming up, we'll tell you about Jared Allen, how he's building up wounded veterans with his passion and patriotism.
To drive event from Acura. Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
Every day is a new opportunity to help make life better right here in Chicago. Whether it's helping local businesses like Russian Point grow and prosper, supporting nonprofits like Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago as they fulfill their mission, or helping neighborhoods like Uptown and Pilsen become vibrant communities. If there's a way to help the people of Chicago thrive and succeed, we'll find it. That's the power of local connections. That's Bank of America.
No other player in the league makes this move. Here's Kane back in, weaving, waiting. Now that gets the crowd going. Rose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Windy City Assassin. Yes! What a shot! History! What a game.
It can be hard to find true holiday spirit. But when you've got something to take you beyond the usual sights, you'll discover the meaning of the season in a place you never expected. The only vehicle that can take you there is at the Jeep Big Finish event. Right now, get $500 Big Finish bonus cash for a total of $1,500 cash allowance on select 2015 Cherokee models.
I tell guys, figure out what you play for. You know, if you're playing for the check, that's cool. You know, if you're playing for earn your check. You know, if you're playing for the name on the front of the jersey, play for the name on the front of the jersey. Play for the name on the back of the jersey. Play for the name on the back, wherever you need to get through. Me and my brother always talk about representing the family name. You know, hey, you play bad, you might not be a Bennett this week. You know, so really just pride. And I mean, I'd rather be 9-7 than anything else. You know, I'm trying to win out, so I go in every single game expecting to win.
Nobody can break it down quite like the Black Unicorn, Martellus Bennett. The Texas native was drafted by the Cowboys and played his first 4 seasons in Dallas, so he's going to be pumped up tonight. Alex, when the playoffs are out of the picture, as a player, how do you get motivated for a game like this?
It's football. You either love it or you don't. And when it's a situation like this and you're out of the playoff race, that's when you see the guys that really love football, they come ready to play.
Because you don't get that many opportunities to play this game. Just ask Lance Briggs.
Exactly.
12 years, and it might be coming to an end. Well, Jared Allen looked as spry as ever last week when he twice brought down Matthew Stafford. The 5-time Pro Bowler is among the top 10 sack leaders in NFL history, but he has just as much passion for his work off of the field as he does for football. We caught up with Allen at his very first Chicago fundraiser for his Homes for the Wounded Warriors Foundation.
My grandfather was 23 years in the Marine Corps. My, older brother was in the Guard. My little brother is currently in the Marine Corps. So I got a long line of military family, a lot of vets, and I went on USO tour in 2009, and when I came back, I knew I had to do something to give back.
Lance Briggs, Brandon Marshall, and Kyle Long were among the Bears who turned out to support their teammate when Jared Allen hosted his Helping Heroes Gala. The money raised will help to build a brand new home for a wounded veteran or to remodel an existing one to make it handicap accessible.
Home is my most secure place at my most vulnerable times. So if our men and women coming home have to relearn how to think, walk, talk, you know, the basic things we take for granted on a daily basis, and they come home and their house is a hindrance to them, you know, that's a stress level that they don't need. And I don't think anybody deserves the American dream more than those who fight for it. And it started with one home, and then, you know, it's catapulted to, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hopefully we just keep growing.
I was in for 4 years and deployed to Afghanistan and got hurt October 15th, 2010. Stepped on an IED, a pressure plate IED. None of us, when we get severely hurt like this, none of us really even knew that organizations like this exist, and it's like a huge life changer to donate and to provide handicap accessible homes to people like me that are in a wheelchair 100% of the time when I'm at home. I can't stress enough how much of a life changer it is and how comfortable I can be in a home that actually works for me.
Oh, Colin's awesome. They all become like little brothers to me. You know, we treat this like a family, and you know, that's why we had to do something. I couldn't just write checks, and it's one thing to buy a house, but we like to create a home.
Jarrett is hands-on with all of the renovation projects. His foundation is getting ready to start on a 9th home this coming off-season.
I just want to keep building houses and keep helping those in need until we don't need to do it anymore, and then we can move on to do something else. But as of right now, you know, our goal is each year to better ourselves, you know, try to raise more money than we raised the year before, help 1 or 2 more soldiers than we can, you know, the year before. Every house is a little different. Every house is, you know, specific to what they want, and it really is something. It's so cool to give them the keys and just see them melt, and it really just lights up your day, and it creates memories for a lifetime.
Outstanding work being done by Jarrett Allen. Collins House in Minnesota should be ready in January. Jarrett would like to find a Chicago area veteran to help because he says it's important for him to try to keep the money where he earns it. For more information on Jarrett Allen's foundation, go to homesforwoundedwarriors.com. We've got to take one final time out. Tell us what you think about tonight's Cowboys-Bears game in 140 characters or less. We just might read your tweet live on the air as you take another look at Jay Cutler getting ready to go up against Tony Romo tonight.
Now there's a health plan for people who can't stand paperwork or monthly premiums. A plan with no real benefits. Introducing the Luck Health Plan. There's nothing to it. No doctors, no prescriptions, no real care of any kind. You don't need it because you know, Luck, the Luck Health Plan. You'll be okay. Probably.
It's Empire Today's biggest sale, the 50-50-50 sale. 50% off carpet and flooring, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation. That's right, half off your entire project. You can save thousands. Empire's 50-50-50 sale won't last long. Don't miss 50% off carpet and flooring, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today, add attractive accent touch with Patriot Lighting from Menards. These flexible rope lights can be installed indoors or outdoors and connect up to 200 feet in 5 colors, just $3.99 each. Finish cleanup faster with a wet dry vac from ShopVac. They offer powerful performance for almost any cleaning task. This 12-gallon model or 14-gallon model has a 6.5 peak horsepower motor and features rear tool storage. Your choice. Just $79 each after rebate.
Save big money at Menards. Drive, 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 let it ride.
If you want to let it ride for less, the proof is in the price. Right now, during the BMW Happier Holiday event at Patrick BMW, you get the Patrick BMW price. That means you can trade up to a new 2015 320i for only $249 a month, or a new 2015 528i X-Drive for only $449 a month. How do we know that's the best price? We've already checked. We drive Chicago. Click PatrickBMW.com.
Welcome back to our Get Covered Illinois pregame show. We're just about a half hour away from the Cowboys and Bears going at it along the lakefront. Alex, tonight is the start of a 3-game homestand for the Bears. They're back under the lights on Monday the 15th against your other former team, the New Orleans Saints, before finally playing another Sunday game at Soldier Field when the Lions come to town on the 21st. Winning out would make this a December to remember, but will a 9-7 finish for the Bears save Mark Trestman's job?
You know what? I don't think he's going anywhere. I think once you let him go go, then you're completely turning a corner here, and you're going to have to let a lot of other people go, and that includes a lot of players. So I think at the very least they'll give this one more year, and they want to see improvement, but there has to be improvement.
Because the Bears' issues, I think, much higher than Mark Trestman. You're talking about Phil Emery and even way upstairs. Let's send it back to Megan Malky at Soldier Field for her final thoughts on tonight's game. Megan?
Yeah, well, Ryan, I'm actually joined by Dan Durkin, the lead writer for 670, The Score, and CBSChicago.com. The big question is, what do these Bears have left to play for in these final 4 games and tonight?
Yeah, a little bit of pride, but I think offensively, you'd really like to see these last 4 games, them look like the team that people anticipated them being heading into the season. So Matt Forte was very vocal this week at Hallis Hall, which is very interesting. So seeing that and hearing his words leads me to believe that you're going to see a balanced game plan, as they've talked about tonight, making him the centerpiece. He's a guy who's still going to be around for the next year or so. So I think that the offense still has something to prove. Defensively, it's an entirely different story.
And defensively, Kyle Fuller goes from Megatron now to Des Bryant. 2 tough weeks. It could be a long night for him.
But that's what you want to see. This is your 14th overall pick. He's a first-round draft pick. You know, they matched him up one-on-one last week against Megatron. Another tough test this week in Des Bryant. But you want to get that on film. These are teachable moments for him because there's no free pass in the NFC North. You're talking about, you know, Megatron, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. There's some elite players in this, so you really need to see now what Kyle is made of. Get him some technique, things that you could talk about in the offseason, but he's one of the cornerstones because, obviously there's going to be a lot of changes on this defense in the offseason.
And obviously I would think they'd want to take a really good look at Bostic and Christian Jones as well.
Absolutely, because, I mean, you think about the turnover, the potential turnover on this defense, you need to see what young athletes you have available just because it's an interesting blend of veterans and young people. You really need to see what your youth is made of because a lot of draft decisions are going to be made on defense for the final 4 games of the season. So very important for them in their development and to show the coaches, hey, I am a part of this or I'm not.
Okay, Dan, thank you. We will see you after the game.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess pride is the big thing for tonight, Ryan and Alex.
Pride in the paycheck. All right, thanks, Megan and Dan there. Well, CBS is sending the A-team with Jim Nantz and Phil Simms calling the action in the booth. Here's a snippet of what the NFL Today studio crew thinks about tonight's matchup between the boys and the Bears.
For Chicago Bears, you know, a disappointing loss on Thanksgiving. They've won 2 at home. They need to play for some jobs, even the head coach's job.
How about Tony Romo on his back, boys? I don't know. You know, he hasn't looked great the last couple weeks. I know he has a week now of preparation. It will be a normal practice time for him as opposed to a short week like it was on Thanksgiving. I wonder about him. He does not look smooth to me, and he looks like his back is bothering him. Now, if it's not, then I don't see how they lose the football game. But if it is, and he's stiff because of the cold, then I think they're going to be in trouble.
All right, we've heard from Coach Cowher and Boomer. Alex Brown, what say you about the proceedings tonight?
Well, I think what the Bears have to come out and stop the run. They have to make Tony Romo beat them. That's, I think, is the key to this, and then get pressure on the quarterback. Once you take away the run, you have to get pressure on the quarterback. When they do that, I think they have a chance.
I know you're biased, but you're picking the Bears tonight? You said no pressure, right?
There's no pressure. There's no pressure at all as far as the playoffs go. So I think they'll come out and they'll play a lot better. I am going to go with the Bears tonight.
Hey, they've won their last 2 at Soldier Field after losing the first 3, so who knows what to expect from this team, but an entertaining game, we would like that. Yes. That'll do it for us right now, and for Alex Brown and Megan Malky, Dan Durkin, and all of the folks here at CBS 2 Behind the Scenes, thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here immediately after the Cowboys and Bears decide things on the field. We'll have locker room reaction along with analysis from my man Alex Brown. Until then, enjoy the game, and we'll see you tonight after the game.
The Get Covered Illinois pregame show has been sponsored by Get Covered Illinois, the official health marketplace. On the go. Download the new CBS Chicago weather app now.
Come see what the experts are raving about at the Kia Holiday Sales Event. KBB.com says the Optima turns heads and flusters the competition. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the Optima. Hurry to your nearest Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia retailer today.
How do you feel about your commute these days? A little crabby? You can change that pretty easily. Just take Pace and feel happy as a clam. The savings will be a big change too. Travel in a more relaxing Pace.
Sometimes a little help is all you need. From saving for today's favorite sport to planning for tomorrow, we'll be right by your side.
There you go.
BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
It can be hard to find true holiday spirit. But when you've got something to take you beyond the usual sights, you'll discover the meaning of the season in a place you never expected. The only vehicle that can take you there is at the Jeep Big Finish event. Right now, get $500 Big Finish bonus cash for a total of $1,500 cash allowance on select 2015 Cherokee models.
Come see what the experts are raving about at the Kia Holiday Sales Event. KBB.com says the Optima turns heads and flusters the competition. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months.